Ice Level, your best view of today's NHL stars. This week on Ice Level, Oilers tough guy, Georges Laraque. Drafted by Edmonton back in 1995, the Montreal native has grown into one of the league's most feared enforcers. But the ride to the NHL wasn't easy. The 250-pound Laraque has been fighting the odds since he first strapped on the blades.
I started playing when I was 4 years old. I was watching other kids playing on the street, and I was playing on the street too. And I just told my dad that I wanted to play hockey too, because they were playing, and we all started at the same time at 4 years old. I wasn't watching hockey much. I was just, I remember when I was reading books, that story about Jackie Robinson, about the baseball, and I've always thought that it'd be a good idea to be kind of the same model, but in hockey. So I knew that if I'd make it in hockey, I'd be like a role model for a lot of black kids, because as it was in baseball. So that was my goal and my dream when I was a kid. I was reading stories that he was a model for a lot of black kids because he was the only one. And I thought in hockey, because there wasn't lots of black people playing, I thought that if I make it, I'd be a role model for a lot of kids, and that was my goal and dream, to be playing hockey to have the same impact as he had in baseball. It was very tough, obviously, because of the color barrier. You know, I was always, every team, I was the only black kids on a team, and I'd get teased on all the time by the parents, by the kids, jealousy, all kind of stuff's happening to me, racial slur. My parents would like to go to the game because they didn't even want me to play because there's too much racist slur, and they didn't thought that was a good environment when you're a kid growing into that. But that stuff made me stronger and gave me character, because going into that, I had to accept a lot of things and be tougher mentally to be able to go through it and keep pursuing playing hockey and pushing my dream, and that happened.
Here's a loose puck at the side of the net. Guerin in front. Laraque missed the wide open net. Laraque's got it in behind the net now. He's going to work it out in front. He shoots. Scores! Georges Laraque rips one over the shoulder of Esch. It's a 3-3 hockey game.
You know, before it was worse than it is today, but I'm not surprised because it's still there, and you know, you still don't see a lot because there's too many discrimination. Of course, it's not as bad as the Will O'Reilly time, but now, you know, we just have to play through it, and people, men now in the NHL, they respect more their player, but it's mostly when you're young that you go through that stuff, but not anymore when you're like 20 years old and now.
Brendan Morrow can't clear it. Here is Brewer now. A shot, a deflect. Laraque's got it. Backhander, he scores! Georges Laraque! And the Oilers lead it 1-0.
I knew that as hard as it would be, if I could make it, one day I could talk about it to other kids and talk about the experience. And you know, you need players to do it, because if nobody started and does it, it's never going to start anymore. So I'm very happy, because like for 20 years I've played hard and I tried the hardest. I went through the toughest stuff, you know, to be where I am today, and I'm very thankful for that.
Ice Level. We'll be right back. Welcome back.
Marchand back to the net. Sokol is after him. It comes to the line. Brewer throws it towards the net. They score! And Georges Laraque standing there on the doorstep. Stu Grimson and Georges Laraque to the left of Jamie Storm.
My style hasn't really changed. When I started playing, I was always bigger than most of everybody, and you know, and I wasn't the guy that was going to score 50 goals. So I just started playing, and I started using my size, and fight came with it, and I just liked it, and I keep playing the same way. And I knew that to be able to play in the NHL because of my size, I had to take the physical part in my advantage to be able to be drafted, because you have basically 2 years junior to get drafted, so you have to do everything you can to put everything in your side. And if you're a big guy and you use your size and you could fight, like when it needed, you have more chance than all other smaller players. So I put all that in my bag, and I used every aspect that I could do, and to be able to be the player I am today.
Cave lined up.
Nobody ever told me how to play and what to do and stuff. You know, you come junior, you decide the style of play you want to, and if you make the team junior, they pick you for whatever you did in, you know, exhibition game junior when you were playing midget AAA. Because there's no fight midget AAA, and that's when you get drafted from junior. But I just picked it up myself, and I like doing it. I was always, you know, like I said, bigger than everybody else. So it was easier junior than it is now, obviously, because not everybody's your size or even bigger. But no, it's just something that I enjoyed, and with the fans, the crowd, and people getting into it, it's always something that I'm always going to have to my game.
Breaking down the left wing, gets it to him, here's Gano, scores!
Definitely when we won the Memorial Cup in 1996 with the Granby Predators, and we added, Quebec hasn't won it for 25 years last time when Guy Lafleur was there. So when we won it, it was a big party in Quebec City, and we're very, very happy, especially to win it on the road in Peterborough. That was something that nobody thought we'd be able to do. That was just incredible. I came with my dad and another player, Patrick Côté, one of my friends, and you know, we came to the draft, didn't know what to expect, and it was just incredible seeing all those great players in the stand, and we were nervous. I was biting my nails. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was going to go, and I knew I was going to go, but still, it's always nervous and stuff, and it was in Edmonton also. But when I remember when Edmonton called my name, it was so exciting, and you know, obviously the crowd cheered because they cheered for every Edmonton pick. And you know, you see Glenn and all those people all together and stuff, and it was very, as intimidating as it was very exciting going on stage, getting the jersey, and it was just unreal, you know, watching the jersey. But I knew that being drafted is the easiest thing, is making the team after that. That was the hardest, but at least the first step was done, and I was very happy for that.
Simpson now to the, oh! But it's all over! So Larocque's just murdering Simpson! Left hands! Oh, they better stop this one. Simpson's trying to hang on. He's overmatched here. Oh, this guy is something else. Now Simpson battling away. He's got some lefts going. Here they keep going. Larocque and Simpson. What a great fight this is. These two guys are going good.
Yeah, I remember that. That was against Calgary. Yeah, I remember that. And I had a fight in that game also. And I remember I was called up from Hamilton with my two other friends. They called us up as a line, actually. And, you know, I was very nervous. And I called everybody to make sure they could watch it on Starlight. And it was something that I'll never forget also, because that was a start of a dream coming true, and a start where I knew that I had to make a good impression. And you know, after being called up for the first game, you know that you're going to get other chances if you keep working hard. And since then, I've never looked back, and I just work harder and harder to make sure I establish myself. And you know, I work step as a step, slowly, and then just gradually, I finally made it regularly.
Back comes McCammon with 8 seconds. He has time with his speed. McCammon then on the right wing in front of the net. Off the crossbar, loose in the crease. Oilers are signaling a goal, and it will be. And I think Georges Laraque got it.
Laraque is going to get this one.
Every time when I'd be called up in Edmonton for a couple of games, I get sent down. They told me to, obviously, to work on my skating, because Edmonton's a fast skating team, and they play with 4-line. Everybody rolls and stuff. Everybody plays. There's other teams that have tough guys. They don't play as much. It doesn't really matter. But for me, if I wanted to play in Edmonton, I had to improve all the aspects of the game, because they didn't want a player just that sit on the bench and play for 2 minutes, because it would hurt the team more than anything, because they're like fast-hitting teams and everybody has to play. So I had to work extra hard on skating and power skating and defensive play, and be aware of you know, my defensemen, that they're going down the net, and being able to play and watch how they play very good. And after a while, when I got improving my skating and all kind of stuff, they felt comfortable of putting me on the ice at any moment, because you never know who you're going to play against. If you play in Pittsburgh and you don't have the last change and they put Jagger on the ice, the coach has to trust you. So that's why it's very important that you're reliable defensively. And when I put all that and improving all those aspects, I was finally able to make the team and play on a regular basis.
Stay tuned for more from your favorite NHL stars. Welcome back to Ice Level, your best view of today's NHL stars.
You don't want people that think you're middleweight and they go at other players on your team and they'll do cheap shot or hit them from behind, all that kind of stuff. When people respect you as a heavyweight, they don't do that kind of stuff because they know you're going to come after them. And if they've seen the result you did with other heavyweights, then they'll think about it twice. And this is all part of a learning process. You start at the beginning and let it happen more to your team, and guys don't respect you as more. But now I don't. It's very rare that somebody is going to go up to me, is going to give me a help or something to my other team, because they know that I do it by the code, and if something happens to my team, I'm going to be there anytime, and I'm always ready for it.
It gives room for a lot of players out there to play their own game and not worry about having to fight their tough guy or whatever. I think he settles down a lot of other teams with his size and his strength, and he's like a Dave Semenko.
Every time somebody takes a cheap shot at one of your teammates, you have to be there right away to show that you can't let that happen, because that's how you kind of lose respect and kind of intimidate your own team. So you have to be there right away. So that's an automatic. If something happens to one of the players, you have to be there. And also, it depends also on the game. You know, if nothing goes right, you're down by a couple goals, you want to change momentum. Sometimes, you could go in and get into a fight just to show the guys that, I'm there, and come on guys, let's pick it up, and then everybody get a little boost on the bench and all that kind of, it always depends on that. And that's just something you have to judge when you play, and you have to really judge the situation, right? Because you don't want to break any momentum if your team is rolling, and sometimes other guy in the other team will ask you because they want to change it, but sometimes it's not always the time, and it's very hard to judge, actually.
Odie was pinching in. Larac has it again. Good pass to Devereaux. Drop pass to down the slap shot pass. Rebound, they score! George Larac. Now down along the boards. Takes the long shot off. He's safe. Puck loose in the slot. Hammerling turns, shoots, scores! 20 seconds left. He's safe back in the net. Larac in the slot. Turns to the backhand. Goes right in. Backhand scores! The hat trick for George Larac.
I'll never forget about that game, obviously, because it was my first NHL hat trick. And this is something I never thought that 1 second that when I started playing with the Oilers, that was going to happen to me, because this is so hard, in the NHL, and having that happening, like at home, especially with your fan when they threw hats, it was the best feeling I've ever had. And also on that game, I remember after I had two and we had an empty net, and I didn't go out there. I didn't, but I thought maybe I would go out there and get on the empty net, but when we scored that empty net, there was 20 seconds left, and the coach put me on the ice. I never thought with 20 seconds left when they put the goalie back that I had a chance to get it, and it was just unbelievable. I was skating on the ice like we won the Stanley Cup. Whoever I was playing with, I've always been playing good in the corners, protecting the puck and looking for open teammates and going to the net more. And because of my size, whoever I was playing with, it created chemistry, because they all knew that when they have the puck, if they be in difficulties, they just throw it behind the net, and I'd be there to pick it up and go to the net with it. And I just opened so much space for myself with the Ds. They respect me so much, and sometimes there's two Ds at me to try to get the puck off, and it leaves a forward wide open, so it creates tons of change every time. So every player that I play with know what to expect, the kind of play that I have. They know I'm not going to take the puck and go coast to coast on the ice and stuff. But they know that when on the other side of the ice, when I throw it behind the net, I'm going to take control of it and do something with the puck that's going to end up good for us.
He's a competitor, and he's the toughest guy I know. I played on a line with him in a few games, and there's been times where I'm skating down the ice and I hear him trying to challenge somebody, but all I hear is the guy saying no, he doesn't want to fight. So it's and I mean he's in incredible shape for how big he is. I mean he's got he can skate up and down the wing like a 50-goal scorer, and the guys can't get it off his stick.
Away from Young, puts it in front of the lock, trying to jam it in, scores!
Comrie and Carter is such a good player that if they have more room on the ice and because the other team worry too much about me going for a hit or working hard in the corners and stuff, it makes it easier on them. And this is something that I know when I was playing with Dougie in Bulgaria, and that was the same thing. I was there to make them create rooms and more respect on them, and this is something that I'm more worried of, and I just play as hard as I can with any line mates, and I always help them in a positive way. I remember that when I was playing with Jim Dogboy, that was the best chemistry ever with those two guys. It was unbelievable. We played so much together all year, every practice. We knew where we were each other on the ice. We didn't even have to look at each other, and that was the best combination ever. And it was just too bad that those two guys were gone, because I think that would have been together for years to come, because we're playing so good together.
Yeah, actually, I got to play with him in Hamilton. That's where I first met him, you know, in the minors there. And we played together a little bit down there. And he's just, I mean, he's a positive guy. He comes smiling every day, no matter what. He's just happy, and he loves playing the game of hockey. And I think a lot of people, you know, look at George and say, I mean, every day he comes in and he's smiling. You know, Big George, no matter what, you know. So he's good at, if he has a bad day, he pushes it behind him and moves on to the next. So, and, you know, he's a guy that has it all. I mean, I think that he can score 20 goals in this league, you know. I think he will one day, too, because he's got it all. Everyone knows what got him here, you know, is Big George, you know. But he can do a little bit of everything, and I love playing with him.
Ice Level. We'll be right back. Welcome back.
LaRock on the half boards. LaRock getting in position, shoots, scores! George LaRock with his second of the night.
The more you skate, the better you're going to improve it. And when the season is done, I take 1 month off of hockey and I don't do anything. And as soon as that month is over, I know that a lot of players wait till August to skate, but right in June, I start right away to skate. I got a power skater, like, not every day, but like 3 times a week. I go on the ice, do a couple of drills, and skate hard and hard all the time, and just to improve my stride and stability and just, you know, over skating and stuff. And I never stopped. And, you know, a lot of people thought that it was a little too early to skate, but I had to, because that's the only way that, especially when I was 20, there's a crucial time that you have to. I can't wait till I'm 30 to make. You always have to make it right away and be there for years to come. So I knew that there was something urgent that I had to improve, and I would just take every lesson serious and work very hard on my skating, and that's how I improved so much.
Shooting, they score! LaRock, I think, tipped it in front, and the Oilers are on the board.
It is really the difference, because I've improved that aspect of the game with the skating. Coach had more confidence, give me more ice time, and being able, as a tough guy, finish with 29 points is, you're at a stage now where people consider you not just as a tough guy, but as a guy that could play also, and not hurting your team. And this was very important in my mind. And ego too, you know, you don't want people to look at you and, oh, that's just a goon, you know, you want to see a player that, he's a good player too, and, you know, he could be a good player in the playoff, he could help your team, and that's the kind of player that lots of team looks for, big players that could play, and also have a, you know, influential role on their team.
George LaRock, as we all know, is a very physical player, but yet he has skills that are continuing to come out. You know, I haven't been here a long time, but I'm kind of getting a feel for Georgie and how he plays, and he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve that I didn't know were there.
That's just unbelievable, you know, like, you're sitting on the bench and playoff, the atmosphere is so high and stuff, and it's just that every time I go out there, I try to do something, like anything, just to make things happen, because one shift could be the difference, and every time I got on there, I tried to mix things up and create some spark, and maybe even some offense if it was possible. And when I got that goal in Dallas, I remember, and it was just a start. It was the first like playoff goal again, like, and it almost felt like the hat trick. But it was an important game. You know, we won that game, and it's just I remember that every time I was going out there, I was just giving everything I had, because that's what you need from everybody in the playoff to, you know, to win. And it's just a nice and fun time to play. And I wish every game of the season was a playoff game. But you know, this is just something that, you know, if you want to show that you're a big time player, you have to show it in the playoff. And I've always felt like that, and wanted to have the coach confidence. So the next year when you go back out there, he knows that, you know, when the time comes, you know, he's going to be there for your team, and he's going to give me more confidence again, and he's going to give me more ice time, and that's what I'm always looking for. It's exactly the same as regular season. It's just that try to be more physical and finish every check and go harder on the D. Because the playoff is a long series, a best of 7, so every hit matters because you tired up their D, and the longer the series goes, the more advantage we'll always have, because we have always been a good conditioned team and love playing with the hitting and stuff, and we're never tired. And you know, when it goes 6, 7 games, it's always an advantage for us because we're always fresh. So I knew that by playing harder and harder, the D would get tired, give the puck more away, create more turnovers, and that's really when we were able to create more chances.
Nieuwendyke's in alone. He scores! Joe Nieuwendyke, and the Stars lead it 2-1 with 2:53 to go.
It's been hard for us because you lose against the same team 4 years in a row against Dallas, and we just know that more experienced team, you know, like they always find a way to come back and win. But we never quit, and year after year we get better, and we're a young team, and it's not like we have players like we have 2 or 3 years to win, and if we don't, that's it, because we're so young that we could play after the Doug trade, we got against 2 young players that they're going to be with us for a while. So we have in the next 5 years we're going to be the same core of players, and once again it's going to be a new chemistry going on, because all we really had is we just lost 1 player and got 2 more players. So we didn't change half the team. It's basically the same team we've had. So we couldn't use playing with each other, and we're a very good group of guys. And now everybody's going to want to step it up because Dougie's gone, and it's going to make us a better team. Instead of waiting on a guy, just on a guy when we're playing, now we're going to rely on everybody, knowing that we'll have to step it up. So I think we're going to be very exciting and could be dangerous in the year to come.
Comrie swings it in front. Larocque just dribbles over the line. Yes, goal for the Oilers.
Last year my goals was 15-15 and finished 1 point short, 13-16. That was for 29 points. And with the ice time I got, I thought that was pretty considerable. But this year I know that I'm going to play a little bit more, have a little bigger role, and I think that I should be able to do 20-20, and that's what we're going to be looking for and stuff, to set it up 1 notch up and be even a better player.
For your best view of today's NHL stars, tune into Ice Level every week on the NHL Network.